All right, to continue on with my last video, with the image that I loaded in, and then having it parse through the file loader to resolve as its own bundle, or own module. Sorry, own module. What I'm gonna do is, to ensure that I can load it on the HTML side, what I'll do is I'll set up, let's just say, I'll need to do this. Let's just do something real quick. Let's do this. So we're going to go body, document. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm actually creating a new element and appending it to the body. So when we render it, we should be able to see the image within the body. So let's do this. Body, child. Let's do image div. Okay. Is our server running? Yeah, it should be. Okay, go back. Let's inspect it. Body. It's not in there. Make sure. Let's just do this. Set attribute. All right. So now that I have my class name for my div, let's go in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set our background image. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it as a background image. I was thinking I could, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's just do it as a background image. What I was going to do was actually create an image element appended to the image container, but that's just going to take too much time with this video. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna reference the thumbnail that's one folder up in relation to this app that's SAS file. So just do that, that, and then thumbnail. And then I'll just set a height for it, a width and a height. So I'll do 250. It may be smaller than this, but let's just, all right. Let's see, class name, oh, class. Okay, it's not referencing that way. Oh. No. Doesn't like that either. Huh. Finally got a chance to figure it out. Went back to the drawing board, and here's what I did. So in the file loader block, I added the public path and output path, and I referenced the image folders. So from the output path and then the public path are set to this folder here. So when I render it, I'm sorry, I'm speaking video editing language, but when I build it, it'll build within that folder, and then it'll also reference that image within the images folder. And then I go into here. So it'll still reference here if I run it within the browser. And if you noticed in my last video, it would reference the CSS folder before it referenced the image folder. And then this is also an absolute path because we're running it as a file within the server, but we should be able to fix that. So this also goes into what I spoke of when I meant we can add additional development options to our config. So one being the source map. So if we decide that we want to build this bundle and then run it, and then when it gets rendered or executed within the browser, how do we know where the error lies? So if we have multiple modules that we're importing via the index file, how do we know how to detect where that error lies within multiple files? So we can have, let's say for instance, we had like modules for individual pages, right? To reference pages. How will we be able to detect that that error within a specific file? So what we want to use is the DevTool option. And with this option, there's a multitude of tools that you can use for your dev piece. So right here, it's basically saying choose a style of your source mapping. And so for what I plan on doing is just using the inline source mapping. And so to do that, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll say DevTool. Inline source map. And then for my dev server, there's some options. And what I want to do is I want to be able to reference the distribution folder when I run my dev server. So instead of running from memory, it'll run from this folder here. So there should be an option. That's the mode, and then that's the watch. Here we go. So it's dev server, the content base. Now if I run my dev server, look at that. This is all on my dev server. And then I have my thumbnail referencing the way it should. We can actually double check that. So if I was to rename this folder, let's just put an underscore, right? And there we go. That piece that took me about 5 minutes to struggle through, I had to take some time, go back to the drawing board and figure this out on the back end. But I say all this to say this piece here, as far as the dev server piece, really isn't important, because what we want to use with our WordPress site, or just a basic static site, is every individual module. And in this piece here, we have an HTML within our disk folder, and then that actually is referencing all of these assets, which are considered modules within Webpack. Oh, another thing too is there's a plugin that I can use to clean up my distribution folder, and I believe it's called Clean Webpack plugin. Let's see. So yarn add dev clean Webpack plugin. Yep. All right. And then so and I think I'll have to instantiate this by using let's see, require clean Webpack plugin. Yep. And so I'm gonna let you know what this actually does. So when I want to build my bundle, what it does is it actually removes unused files. This isn't tree shaking. This basically takes unused files that aren't related out of the disk folder. So you may have tested some file structures previously, and it may have left behind old files, but that plugin will clean that up. So I can do it again if you missed it. So I'm gonna do a test.js. Test.js. And then I run this. Boom. So that was it for basically wrapping up the file loader issue that I was having, and also adding more dev options to our config file. So in the next video, we're actually going to wrap all of this up. We're going to move to creating our production config, and then we're going to go ahead and do a complete build where we're minifying our JavaScript files and our style sheets. So see you in the next video. So if you like this content that I just shared, please subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit that notification button while you're at it, so you could actually be notified when I post my next video.